Hello everybody, I'm Sonia and welcome to this yoga stretch mobility fusion. Primarily we're going to be targeting the hips, the hamstrings, and a little bit of the quads. Props for this class will be blocks, a yoga strap or something similar, and blankets to help you ease into certain poses. Of course, this is your practice, your body. Listen to how it feels in different postures. A dull, achy sensation in a stretch is normal. We breathe through it to release tension. However, pain is a signal to get out of the pose. You're welcome to practice Ujjayi breath throughout this session. That is ocean breath. Breathing in through your nose with the mouth closed as if you're saying ah. And then breathing out through the nose, mouth closed, again as if you were saying ah. So there's a slight constriction in the throat. We're going to go ahead and get started on our backs. You can place a blanket under your head for comfort and have your yoga strap nearby. So we're in a Shavasana right now, and we're just going to keep this a little active. Micro movements in the fingers and toes. Maybe hips swaying side to side. Connecting with the breath. Notice how it sounds, how it feels to breathe in this moment for you. And on your next breath in, we're going to take the left knee and bring it in towards the chest for wind relieving. Exhale, bring the knee closer into the chest. Keep it active by swaying the knee side to side, noticing in that hip joint where there is resistance, tension. If there is a place of mild discomfort, stop there and breathe into it. Breathe deeply into the belly, and on the exhale, let it go, soften. And then continue exploring. Now lift your foot for a half happy baby, grabbing onto the toes, outside of the foot, or you can hold on to your shin. Alternatively, you have your yoga strap. Feel free to keep this static in a stretch or find micro movements. Exploring range of motion within that hip joint. Breathe in deeply into the belly and breathe out. Finding your yoga strap. We'll move into the hamstrings, straightening the leg in front of us. Let the leg fall into that hip socket. Slight micro bend in the knee so that we're targeting the middle portion of the hamstring. You want to avoid feeling too much of a stretch behind the knee. And gently pull the thigh towards you. Holding onto the yoga strap with the left hand, right arm extends to the side. We're going to open the leg over to the left hand side as low as you can. Feel free to put a block under the leg so that it can rest. Opening the hip adductors here, the inside of the leg. Let your right glute fall heavy into the mat so that we get a little bit of a stretch in the hip flexor there. Sometimes I like to grab the strap with both of my arms, maybe bringing that right arm overhead just if it becomes a little bit too much for the muscles in my arms. Control, begin to lift the left leg up and over to the other side, grabbing the strap with the right arm. Seeing how low you can go, finding a comfortable, mildly challenging limit to settle into and breathe through, to release, to let go, to surrender. Again, feel free to place a block under the shin or thigh so that your leg can rest on it. This is also a spinal twist. We want both shoulder blades to be on the mat rather than letting the foot find the ground for the safety of the spine. So keep your leg higher if you need to in order to keep both those shoulder blades on the mat. This is a wonderful stretch that is targeting the IT band, which is a thick connective tissue that runs along the side of the leg. With control, begin to lift the left leg and extend it straight out. Inhale deeply, bring the right knee in towards the chest. And exhale, move the thigh closer in. Move intuitively if you'd like to explore a range of motion in the joint. If you find an area of tightness, stay there for a moment. Consciously breathe into the space, bringing your awareness to the area of discomfort, and breathing out any tension. Find your half-happy baby. Trying his best to keep that left hip rooted into the mat. Extend your legs straight. Find your yoga strap. Slight bend in the knee. Breathe, pulling the leg closer in towards your chest. The stretches we are practicing today are primarily targeting Muladhara and Svadhisthana chakras, our root and sacral chakras. So the root is responsible for our sense of groundedness, feeling secure in this physical world, financially, physically. And then the sacral chakra is about our connection to our emotions, allowing them to flow through us like a stream, not attaching. It's also about becoming aware of our desires, being sure not to have selfish desires that come at the cost of others, but desires towards a more peaceful world, towards self-improvement, towards enlightenment. Grabbing onto the yoga strap with our right hand, we'll open the leg to the side. Adjust as needed until you find your edge. It's okay to move around when you're in a static stretch to find a place of more comfort and ability to expand and grow. That is the metaphor of stretching, to expand the mind, open the body, lengthen, reach new limits, surpass those limits, both physically mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. It's a metaphor for your entire holistic being. Anyway, sometimes I go on those little spiritual tangents, but keep that left hip rooted into the mat. Moving over to the other side. Remember to keep both shoulder blades on the mat and let the leg fall as low as it naturally will. Bring awareness to the IT band along the side of the leg. Breathe deeply into the belly. Breathe out to soften any tension in the leg and surrounding areas. Let go. Raise the leg and set your heels near your sits bones. Hopefully you have your blocks nearby. You can do this with a block or without, Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. Heels are directly near our sits bones, so we are able to touch them with our fingertips. Thighs are parallel, hips width apart. Going to go ahead and squeeze our belly, our glutes and thighs to lift the hips. You can hold this position or make it more passive by placing a block, any level, underneath your sacrum, that large bony process just above the tailbone. I always find this to release my lower back and to stretch the hip flexors here, which we've been compressing at the beginning of our practice. Go ahead and lower down, remove the block if you used one. Bring knees into chest. And we're going to roll up into a seated position. Have your blocks handy. You may want to sit on a blanket to elevate the pelvis for this one. It's going to be fire log pose, which is a pretty intense stretch in the hips. Placing my left shin parallel in front of me, A block can go under the knee. Adjust your seat as needed, and then the right foot rests just under that knee. Add blocks underneath your knees, and we'll gently allow the legs to release. I'm always pretty stiff at the beginning of this one. As you can see, I need a lot of blocks, but it takes time for those deeper muscles in the hips to release that we often don't target, specifically the piriformis. It's a muscle that connects the femur to the sacrum, actually. The sacrum is the seat of Kundalini. So in a way, we're allowing that area to expand for a little bit of support within our Kundalini awakening. Feel free to bring some movement into this one as well. If your body is saying no to that, find 90-90 legs. And then maybe you can fall over one of the legs as much as you're able to. Take a deep breath into the belly. And exhale. Consciously relax those muscles. Sink into it. And keep breathing. Other side, slowly release the legs, maybe little windshield wipers in between. Reconnect with your breath as the anchor, Ujjayi breath. And slowly come out of the pose. Windshield wiper the knees. And find a tabletop. Movement in the hips, circles. You can place a blanket under the knees if you wish. Maybe adding some spinal rolls. Finding the shoulders above the wrists again, extend your feet out, falling into an upward facing dog. So you're on the tops of your feet, lifting from your chest, the upper spine bends up, thighs can be on the mat or lifted. We're lengthening the psoas, the hip flexors in the opposite direction now. Breathe in and breathe out to let the hips drop. They are heavy. You're not holding on to or activating any muscles except for your arms. And be mindful of your low back. Lengthen out of it, forward and up. Lower the thighs onto the mat, tuck the back toes. Finding tabletop, we'll take a brief cat pose, arching the back to the sky, tucking the tailbone in. And let's flow into Malasana, stepping our feet as wide as the mat or adjust based on your body. Feet are pointed 45 degrees out. We're sinking into the hips, opening the knees with our elbows. If you work with bandhas, activate Mula Bandha here. Lift the pelvic floor and the chest, then sink deeper. Reconnect with your breath. From here, place both hands on the mat. Extend the right foot out, toes pointed up for a Skandasana pose. But we're gonna make this dynamic. So you can keep your hands on the mat or lifted. And we're going to flow to the other side. Right toes point up. And flow to the other side. Keep the movement going with control and precision. And stop, holding the stretch on the left-hand side. Placing a blanket under the heel might help with this pose. And flow to the other side, hold it. Then we'll bring that left foot in and find a child's pose as our final resting posture. Or if you would like to keep it traditional and go back to Shavasana, feel free. With child's pose, we're going to keep the knees together so that we really counterbalance those hip flexors. Go ahead and fall over the thighs. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Place a blanket under your forehead, under the feet or knees if you need to. You can also place a pillow or a bolster here to rest over it, making it more of a restorative posture. Let's begin to wiggle toes and fingers and slide the chest upwards. Well, how does your body feel? I know I always feel amazing after a good stretching routine. It helps me to feel calm, in a state of flow, open, and really helps release pain in my body, especially if you are into weight training. This is the perfect routine to do after leg day. If you like the class, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to watch ad-free along with exclusive classes and workshops that I've created, please go ahead and join me on Patreon. It helps to support my ability to create these classes for free as well. So it really would be much appreciated. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next class. Bye everyone. Namaste.